Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm putting together my September TBR, and I'll be honest, I've been deliberating on this for hours. I just cannot decide what I want to do for September. August really ended up being a wash for me because it ended up being a much more stressful and hectic month than I anticipated. Our dog had a difficult spay recovery, our roof started leaking, you can actually still see the bucket sitting over here, and work just got really busy. We had some really big projects come in, so there was just a lot going on. I did basically no reading in August. I completely scrapped that TBR and just mood read for a little bit, read some cursed books as a sort of palate cleanser. And now going into September, I don't want to like overload myself. I kind of want to ease in, but I'm just not sure what I want to pick up. I do know that for September I want to try and work on some of the goals that have fallen by the wayside across the year. I had several lists at the start of the year that I've made like basically no progress on, and aside from lists, just kind of some things I want to accomplish, like reading more of my new books and doing like the Our Fantasy bingo thing. So there's just a lot of things that I would like to try and make some progress on. So instead of trying to make a long list for myself to follow, I thought it would be fun to take some of those goals and put them on my spinner wheel, which I'm going to grab now. Here it is. And just try and take some of the element of choice out of my hands so that maybe I'll have an easier time deciding what I'm actually in the mood for. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I'm hoping this goes well. I have tried to use this wheel twice for episodes of Shelf Control. It didn't go anywhere. I ended up scrapping both of those, not because of the wheel, but just because both months I tried to do it, external factors led to my reading very little those months, so I haven't really gotten a chance to use it. This seemed like a fun opportunity to break it in, actually use it for a video. So that's what we're gonna do. I do have one book that I know I'm gonna be reading, and I will try and fit it in to a wheel prompt if I get a chance, but I know I'm gonna be reading The Killer Question by Janice Hallett. This is one of my most anticipated books of the year. It's the newest mixed media mystery from Janice Hallett. She's one of my favorite authors right now, and I'm really excited to read this one. This one's about a series of mysteries around a pub quiz that eventually like shuts down, and then the nephew of the guy who owned the couple that owned the pub like comes back years later to try and like figure out how all these different threads connect. It sounds super fun. I'm really excited for it, and that is the one book I know I am absolutely intending to pick up in September. So if I can fit it on a wheel prompt, we'll do that, but otherwise I just want to go ahead and pick a few other things to read. So I don't know how many we're going to do. I'm just going to spin until it feels right, and we'll go from there. So let's find out what our first book, aside from The Killer Question, is going to be. Makes such a satisfying noise. Okay, so a self-destruct TBR. Okay, let me go take a look what I got left and figure out which one that's gonna be. Okay, I think we're gonna go with Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Sullivan. This is a mystery that I got as a like blind date with a book a while back, actually a couple of years ago, but I think of the things remaining on that list, I'm most intrigued by this one. I love a good murder mystery, and this one is about a woman who works in a bookstore, and then one of the store's regulars, I believe, commits suicide in the store's attic, and she finds a picture of herself as a child in his pocket, and she's trying to figure out like how the hell does this guy know me and why is he here? So it sounds really intriguing, and I do definitely want to give this one a try before just like unhauling it. So this is the one I think most excited to pick up from that list. Okay, got the wheel for book number 2. A new book. This works entirely in my favor. Which of the two do I want to do? Okay, I'm gonna do this as my newest book, and it's not here yet, but I'm gonna read Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. This is another one of my most anticipated releases for the year. This is about two rival academics who like descend into hell to rescue their mentor. It's so many things that I should love, and I have really enjoyed a previous book from R.F. Kuang. I read Yellowface and really enjoyed it, and I do actually have Babel on my TBR. I haven't gotten to it yet, but Calabasas is just so many things I like. I like a journey into hell. I like academic stuff, like especially like rival academics or like an academic context, especially if it gets into the academics itself, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, given that it's R.F. Kuang. And it's so many things that should definitely be my jam specifically, so this is a great opportunity to go ahead and get it on the list. So we're gonna go with Calabasas. Okay, this is going really well for me so far. I probably should look at how many pages Calabasas is, but that would be not reckless of me right now, so we're just gonna spin again. Ooh, RNGesus. That's a fun one. Okay, let me pull up my list. So I need to use the RNGesus, the random number generator from Google. I know that I have 351 unread books on my TBR. I just checked it the other day because I was trying to remember what the number was. And we're just going to go ahead and generate a random one. That's book 181. I don't know if that's visible, but that is the number. And I'll pull up my spreadsheet real quick. 181. Somehow I'm at the very bottom of the list. I don't know how that happened. Oh. Okay. So this is an ebook that I have. This is A Man by Keiichiro Hirano. And I don't remember a whole lot about this. I think this is a literary fiction. It's like a short literary novella about a man. Let me look it up. Let's find out together because I don't remember. Turns out you have to write something more specific than the word a man. Words to get the right book. There we go. Okay, a man follows another man's trail of lies in a compelling psychological story about the search for identity by Japan's award-winning literary sensation Keiichiro Hirano and his first novel to be published in English. Or his first novel to be translated into English. Akira Kito is a divorce attorney whose own marriage is in danger of being destroyed by emotional disconnect. With a midlife crisis looming, Kito's life is upended by the reemergence of a former client, Rie Takamoto. She wants Kito to investigate a dead man, her recently deceased husband Daisuke. Upon his death, she discovered he'd been living a lie. That sounds fun. That sounds very fun, actually. Okay. I'm not mad about it. That's an interesting pick. Also, I'm getting a lot of things that I can't hold up, so editing me is going to have fun putting in all the pictures. So that gives us, what, 3 books, Midnight at the Bright Edge, Bookstore, Calabasas, and a Man. Let's do one more, because I'm pretty sure a man is pretty short. I can just look at it. I'm still on the page. It's 300 pages, so it's not too long. Let's do one more and then we'll see. It was not as good a spin. Phone a friend. Okay. I'm gonna cheat slightly on this one because this is one where I would like ask somebody, either my best friend or my partner, to give me a book recommendation. However, I actually have a list on my phone. A lot of my phone in this one. I have a list on my phone that my friend gave me of what we were calling my homework from her. That are a list of books that she wants me to read so that we can talk about them. And I think I want to pick something off that list because it's been a while since I finished anything off of it. And let's see. Okay, I'm back. I have The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is one that my friend read several years ago, and she had kind of mixed feelings about it. I think she ended up leaning towards disliking it, but it sounded really intriguing to me. The premise is about a woman who was stolen as a child to become a soldier for a colonizing empire that invaded her home, and she, many years later, is being sent as a soldier to help discipline and like control that region, and she ends up having some sort of conspiracy thing going on with, I believe it's a princess of the empire, one of the people who is technically like in line for the throne or should be in line for the throne, named Luca. So it's Terrain and Luca, and this is like sapphic enemies to lovers, fantasy, political intrigue, that kind of thing. So it sounds really fun to me. My friend didn't like it, but some of the points that she didn't like it on are things that I think sometimes work a little bit better for me in books. So I want to give this one a try and see how I feel about it. And I have actually been feeling like I'm kind of in a fantasy mood again. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good pick. I think I'm either going to have a really great time reading this or I'm going to have an interesting time talking about it with my friend. Possibly both. Okay, I'm feeling good about this list. I think let's do one more. I'm getting ambitious, but like, let's do one more. I want to see what else we're going to get. I'm excited also to be using the wheel. A book I've been putting off. I have some good options for that. I'm going to go do a little staring at this here shelf over here and pick something. Okay, so I've actually pulled 2 things for this. I'm not sure which one I want to read. I'll probably only end up reading one of them. But I've chosen one book off of my series I'd like to continue or finish this year list because I've read the first book like 2 years ago and I've just been putting off getting back into the series. and so that'll help me with that list. And then the other one I've chosen is one of my new books that I bought this year, which will help me with my goal towards reading 60% of the new books that I bring into my library this year. And this particular one is the series conclusion that my friend had, same friend, had mixed feelings about. So I'm a little bit nervous going into it. So the first of those two was Before They're Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. I loved The Blade itself. Again, I read it like 2 years ago, and was it last year? No, it was definitely like longer than that. I think it was 2 years ago. And I absolutely loved The Blade itself. But I never got back into it and read the next book. And there's so many books in this particular universe. And then there's also a new book from Joe Abercrombie, The Devils, which I want to get to. And I feel like I need to get through The First Law first. So I need to get back to this one. And then the other one is The Tomb of Dragons by Catherine Addison. It's the conclusion to the Cemeteries of Amalo series, which, again, I love the first two books in that series. Both of them I read, like, as soon as they came out. But when this one came out, I don't remember what was going on, but I had something going on where I couldn't pick it up immediately. And my friend read it first. And with most things she reads it first, because she just reads really fast. But I ended up hearing from her that she had some mixed feelings about the series concludes, or how the series concludes, is what I'm trying to say. She had some mixed feelings about how the series concludes, and so I'm a little bit nervous going into this one about how I'm going to feel about the ending. I know that the previous book in this series leaves off at a really difficult and compelling place. Difficult for the main character. It's a very big change in his status quo, so I'm intrigued to see where it goes, but I am feeling a little bit of hesitation to get to it because of her experience with it. So one of these two, I'm not sure which one yet, but both of these are things that I've been looking forward to for a while and just kind of putting off actually picking up. So these are all the books I am planning to read in September. I think this is an interesting stack, and I think I'm kind of glad I did it this way. I think I've picked things up here that I wouldn't have picked up otherwise. These would have just continued sitting on my shelf. I have just remembered that I have a library book. Hang on, these aren't all the books I'm going to be reading in September. Never mind, scratch that. I also have The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, which I checked out just recently, and it's due back mid-September. So I really need to get to this one. I've heard fantastic things, including a family friend of my mom and I's. She read this a while back. I just realized that should have been my mom and me. Anyway, grammar issues aside, a friend of ours read this a while back and raved about it, said it was fantastic, so I definitely need to read it. And then I also have The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap, which is due soon. So maybe I am accidentally getting ambitious all over again. I do that a lot. It's my special talent, is getting over ambitious with my TBRs. So that's what I'm going to be reading in September. Let me grab the rest of the stack. I promise that's it. That's all the books on the TBR. So we're just gonna roll with that, and we'll see how much I actually get through, and if I end up reading all of these. I suppose I'm kind of treating this as a hopefuls list instead of an actual, like, I'm going to read these in September, but I think that doing this, spinning the wheel, has helped kind of reinvigorate my interest in reading, so I'm feeling good about that, and I hope that I'll be able to tackle a good chunk of reading next month. So yeah. That's it. I think that's all I have for you today. Let me know down in the comments below what you're planning to read for September, and if you've read any of these and your thoughts on them. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.